It's kind of a sad, forlorn Saturday here at the homestead. Class is over. We're waiting around for the podcasters to arrive. Little D fell asleep on his guitar. And Big D, he's doing the manly thing where he takes up the whole couch. It's very manly. I made a new bear at Build-A-Bear, my nephew's birthday. The bear on the left, his name is Sandy, and he's kind of a ladies' man. He's got a line for the ladies right here.
I know I'm adorable, and you're pretty cute too.
So Big D and I had kind of a devastating week, which is why we're feeling kind of lazy. Now, I'm not going to post this until we get our stuff back, Big D.
Yeah.
But maybe Little D can hold the camera while we tell our tale of woe.
48 hours.
48 hours before the show, they emailed me and said, you owe us $2,500. If you don't pay it, we're canceling your show Friday night.
They sent it in an email?
Yeah, they sent it in an email.
Everything's email. She hasn't called us.
Is she like a... I don't know how to say it, but...
She a bitch? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't. I mean, she was always, like, super nice. We liked her.
She was always pro the comedy. Yeah.
She loved the comedy. She loved us. So we think that she was just following orders. But we know that that's not a really good excuse for a Nazi or for anyone else.
Very good. Or she never returned the phone calls, and suddenly
she
you owe $2,500.
Yeah, and our contract states that we don't owe the money. Because I went to a lawyer in Santa Barbara, and he looked at the contract, and he said, you don't owe them $2,500. So I called Susan, and I said, I'm not going to be paying the $2,500 because you've just fabricated these figures, and we don't owe you this money. And she said, well, then I'm canceling your show tomorrow night. And I think she thought that that would make me bend over and write her a check. And instead, I bent over and pulled down my pants, and I said, no, back that up, I didn't do that. That was another night with someone else I was angry at. Forget that. I'm unpredictable. I'm edgy. What'll she say? What'll she do? We don't know. Oh, look. Hello. Matt's here. Hey, Matt.
Hey.
Hey, Debbie. We're getting ready to roll into the next phase of our day, which is podcasting. But yeah, so she canceled our show. They wanted money. So we think they're all cocaine addicts or either, I'm thinking cocaine or
Heroin.
What's expensive? Like, what would they suddenly need a lot of money? Then they kept changing the goal line. Like when I wouldn't give them $2,500, they said, "Okay, give us $1,000 and the gate receipts from tomorrow night." I said no. And then when I got home, I got an email saying, "Can you give us $1,500?" And then the next day, little Big D and I drove up there to get our equipment because we've got $5,000 of equipment stored at the hotel. I'll let you tell it.
Oh yeah, no, we go to the painter who's like doesn't have the key to where our stuff is. And he goes on the microphone and he says, "They're here." And I was like, that's ominous.
And then he starts talking about how fun it is to paint and how expensive his paintbrush is.
And then Aura comes over and he says, "You have to talk to Susan."
And I said, "I'd like to get our equipment before we talk to Susan." And he said, "No, you need to talk to Susan first."
No, he didn't want to be part of it.
Yeah.
That's a guy who didn't want to follow orders at all. He's like, "I am not part of it, talk to Susan." That's it.
So I looked at Devin and then I went, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then she said, "We have to take this conversation out into the lobby." Usually that's what happens right before you get punched. So I thought
She's a tall, big woman.
Yeah,
she's
big.
like a...
Well, what did she tell you in the lobby before she slugger punched you in the face?
She said, you can't have your stuff until you pay us the money. At that time it was $2,100 until you pay us the money.
Yeah, because the goal line keeps changing.
Yeah. And then Weezy was like, I won't. You're violating our contract, and I'm going to have to sue you.
And so we left because I know that if I hang around long enough with a contentious individual, I will suddenly say fuck you. I mean, it won't be something that comes over me like, you know how some people know they're going to throw up and so they have time to get to the bathroom? Well, I'm so rarely in any sort of dispute with anyone that I don't know where my gray area is, where it's like, okay, run to the bathroom, you're about to throw up. I will just suddenly say fuck you. And I didn't want to say fuck you in the lobby and then be accused of, you know, being unruly or disruptive or causing a scene. So I just walked up the stairs, and it took Devin a while to follow me because I think Devin was like, "Is the conversation over?"
Yeah, she just like,
I just
boom,
bolted.
"I'm going to sue you, peace out."
Peace out. I already have a lawyer.
Yeah.
He said, no, he goes, they can't hold you onto your things because that is what's called conversion, where they try to convert your belongings into a debt that they believe is owed to them.
Right.
That is the equivalent of theft. So we drove back to LA. Chris Cruz phoned me on my cell and said, I faxed Susan Wells. That's not really her name. Just for the purposes of this, it's her name, because it is her name.
Susan Wells Gonzalez.
Susan Wells Gonzalez. But that's not really her name, just for the purposes of this, because it is her name. I'm just confusing people. He faxed her a letter that said, you know, you're in violation of conversion, which is criminal. And I don't know at what point it goes from being a misdemeanor to being a felony, but $5,000 could be the number. And that's just about how much of our equipment they have. They've got our speakers, our microphones, our lights, our mixing board, our
Mic stand.
So I got in my car and I was going to go get it, and I called my friend whose garage we were going to put it in, and he said, let's do it Monday. I go, that sounds like a good idea, because I don't want to drive back up to Santa Barbara. So I will post this on the internet as soon as we have our equipment. But my friend advised me not to post it before we have our equipment, because we're slandering them.
There's some naughty things that are said in this tape.
Is it slander when you're just telling what happened?
No. Slander this is the truth.
This is what happened. This is what they did to us.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some podcast. Thanks, Little D.
No problem.
They don't like Jews.
They don't like Jews. Say it again. They don't like Jews. They don't like Jews. The Hotel Andalucia was mean to us. They canceled our show.
That's
kind of wondering about
Did you hear? Did you
48
hear?
hours before
no.
we did.
How much you were making of money, right?
We were making money. We saw people buying the big pink $15 cocktails. Hand over fist, fist over lips.
Yeah. So.
We think they went nuts, or they're addicted to cocaine, or they're pure evil, or
A combination.
a combination of all of the above. This is Susan Gonzalez Wells' problem, and the Nazis who own the Hotel Andalucia.
And helmet tiddles. Come on.
But the good news is Tyler's mother brought me flowers.
They're very beautiful.
I gotta
Be
tell
rude.
people they're from a gentleman named Pam.